you see the combination with the Alistar come together with.
Beefy front line, some good engage coming on through. That should be buying a lot of breathing space from this Miss Fortune. She should be looking dandy on the backside of those fights. And now we're going to be making it on through. You just hear it, the good old infamous. It's been so long since I heard the lock-in screen. We're finally going to be getting ourselves into our second matchup. Just in case you guys joined the stream a little bit late, not too sure what is happening so far. It is a BO3 series between Na'Vi and Trovo.
Tankiness coming out of both the Olaf, coming out of that Darius, as you mentioned. That's going to be crucial if those front lines not only are able to tank, but are able to mitigate the engage coming out from both this Jarvan and from this Kennen, who are going to be looking down on the back line. It's great that you can be tanky and you can tank that front line, but if you're already onto your ADC in the back with that Kennen, with that Jarvan, even with the fact that the Kai'Sa can just actually, with the killer instinct, jump straight into that back line, there's no use for that front line if you're the wrong way around in the team fight.
Oh, the Rift has been so long. I can't wait. I just want to get some action going on now. Of course, you had yourself the side of Grizz looking for a very similar opportunity as they were doing it in Game 1, but Trovo Nova this time are going to be going up against a Na'Vi that have learned. They are very smart monkeys into this one. They have known and learned from what happened in Game 1. And now they are going to be a lot more aware of their surroundings. We're going to have then the lane swap coming on through from Janna and also from the Kai'Sa as they're making their way towards the top side to bully down onto Clemmer. And unfortunately, a melee matchup by the Darius, 1v2 versus Janna, and also the Kai'Sa is going to be so hard. Reason why they're going to be freezing so early. Darius is not going to have an early game that's going to be going too well, purely based on this matchup that is not going in his favor whatsoever.
You see the fact that even in this early game, the Orianna actually struggling, interestingly enough, here over this early game stage against Akali. And if this Akali is actually able to apply the pressure on to this Orianna in the early game, stop Orianna rotating through, setting up a little bit of a lead for this first dragon, that's going to be important as well. You see even Vex pressuring on this bot side, and there's nothing really that Garen can do. It's little baby Kennen level 2. He just has to watch as this turret's going to fall down.
We're both cross-mapping. Kennen gonna get himself that move speed, get the hell out of that one, and that is going to be some cross-mapping happening from both sides. Top lane has a little bit of an advantage as of yet. Actually, you know what? I think they're almost exactly in the same 1,300. Yeah, they almost at the exact same point. They're going to get tower at the exact same time almost. Very surprising, but Kennen going to go... Wait, Kennen, what? Okay, you definitely want to get away from that one. He was playing a little bit with fire, but the tower will take some time to fall. It will be the first tower again for Na'Vi, but it's going to be traded off very closely by Trovo Nova, which at the end of that, really no team comes out on top because they get the exact same amount of gold, but it seems like Na'Vi want to go even further here.
I'm surprised that Kennen did not get dived on. Yes, Kennen stops the first tier turret gold going towards the side of Trovo Nova, but Trovo Nova should have understood that we weren't going to get that first turret plate gold, and instead could have just turned and got the first blood instead and equalized that gold. Get that 400 initial gold into their pockets because Kennen was way out of position. That would have been an easy knockup for that Rakan to take alongside the rest of the damage of their team. But on a reset, they didn't be able to push any further, unfortunately, for the side of Na'Vi. They couldn't pressure that second tier turret as a recess to come through, and it will be Akali making some rotations of their own now to try pressure this bot side even further, and I think to try mitigate this Kai'Sa as long as possible in this early game.
They're trying to just roam a little bit, get a little bit more info on what's happening. One scuttle is going to be picked up by Trovo Nova in the bottom side. Top side is going to be picked up by Na'Vi. So they're going to have a little bit of a good idea of what Vilhos is trying to do. But man, he's trading so well versus this Orianna. And Akali is actually, because we haven't seen too many Akalis in mid as of recently, also in ranked. I'm seeing most of the Akalis played in the Baron lane. So actually, because she is so good in damage, even in the early game stage, and able to assassin backline squishies really easily, match up into an Orianna, I'm not against that whatsoever. And also hitting that shockwave when she's in the Twilight Shroud is actually really hard to execute. So Josie's going to have to be on his top game if he wants to be able to actually deal with that Akali early on.
And also the confidence in the draft lock-in to take Akali and both Misfortune together. You saw Navi pick that up in the first game, and they couldn't make it work. And now Trovo Nova looking to show exactly that it can work, but it will be the engage over as this dragon starts to spawn in.
Reaper in and out as quickly as that. Just going to get a few bumps along the way, but it's not going to be meaning much. Also, I want to ask you, have you had a little bit of lag on Wild Rift as of right now?
I
today?
have not had any lag so far today, but I will keep you informed if the lag and the minions do chew up both cables. So I'll keep you posted.
Because I connected on my 4G too, and I got the impression that there's some lag happening today, and I don't think it related to me because I've been... My Wi-Fi is looking really good with the stream, but you know what? I don't know. If you guys can also tell us in the chat, we'd love to know. Seems like maybe Wildrift is having a few issues, which would be very unfortunate. But the Drake is going to be leashed a little bit. Maybe doing a little bit of a bait onto Na'Vi. They're just unsure if they're doing it or not, so they've got to be very cautious of their surroundings. Yep. Reaper's going to be pushing on forward, as Grizz is not going to go for the opening knock-up just yet. They're going to go for it. Leash up coming out from Vex. Taking a little bit of damage. Great engage, though. An instant charm. Oh, my God. That's a dead Janna if I've ever seen one. Flash wave from Reaper. The shockwave comes out. Not going to be connected, unfortunately, for them. But this is going to be Trovo Nova in all of their glory. Getting also the obliteration on all the players of Na'Vi. And that's going to be a double frag for this Olaf. And you know it. Here, Highland. An Olaf that gets ahead is one of the scariest things in Wild Rift.
You know, but a Kaiser, if they get ahead, is not a Kaiser, but excuse me, an Akali, is that Kaiser will be falling further behind. If that Akali gets ahead, will be so dangerous. Just going to make it look like butter slicing through this entire side of Na'Vi. And although, yes, Na'Vi have bad engaged potential, it was all Trovo Nova with the Rakan jumping multiple times onto the front line of Na'Vi and stopping any engagement and stopping Orianna from throwing that aftershock ball straight in to the enemy side. And it will be the Dragon potentially going to start up for Trovo Nova, but you see they halted on it for now. Though they got priority in the lane, it looks like Na'Vi want to try pressure this one up. Jarvan looking for that entrance.
I do prefer the early game team fight potential, and also they got 4 kills up to a little bit of a 2,000 gold lead, so I think that forcing the fight their way is only to the advantage of Trovo Nova, but they started to take quite a bit of damage, as Drake is down to 50% HP, but they're going to stop that leash from happening, and Trovo Nova, they just don't want to take it. Apparently this lead is not enough for them to take a chance at an early game fight. They don't want to throw all of that advantage away. But now that Na'Vi saw them disengage, are they going to potentially try and take a Drake themselves? I mean, they literally got vision and seemed like we're slowly going to be seeing a collapse coming on through from Trovo Nova. Drake down to 50% HP. Mountain Drake could get smattered away very soon. Great engage onto the backside. Oh my God, the bullet time hits everyone almost on the side of Na'Vi. And now there's nothing they can do. The shockwave connects, able to buy a little bit of breathing space for the side of Na'Vi. But in the long term, it is nothing substantial. And this is going to be an ace coming out. Man, the Rakan into the bullet time of the Misfortune. That was a godly duo combo.
That is a disgusting combo, even more than the potential engage that Na'Vi can bring. The engage is all over on Trovo Nova's side. We start with their lead, now 5k ahead once again. The Mountain Dragon goes up. In stealing, crucially, we talked about that Mountain Dragon away, going to be that 10% of health shield, but also gets obliterated from the potential side of Na'Vi. Is now they just turn even more squishy for this entire engaged comp, and I expect to see Trovo Nova keep this up, going over to the Rift Herald to keep this aggression up, because if they can keep their lead, if they can keep this early game potential with the Olaf and the Akali before we start to fall off into the late game stage, they're going to extend that lead further and make it a lead as impossible for Na'Vi to engage on as Akali just bullying the Orianna out of lane.
Bottom side. Kaiser not looking good. That's going to be a really good tornado from the Janna. Ultimate going up from Grizz, and he's not going to be able to close that gap, forcing the flash away. That's going to be a good disengage. I got to say, Juicy playing that Janna really good despite being a pick that you do not see too heavily in competitive. Mostly going to be a ranked or casual pickup. Here was used perfectly to stay away from that Rakan.
The Rift Herald also going to be started up by Trovo Nova. We're going to get this one clean as anything here, Max Man, and it will be that second objective to go their way. Going to provide even more pressure maybe over with that Rift Herald into the top tier 1 turret, be able to open then that second tier 1 turret open, then be able to only look for that pressure onto the mid side, and from there the Infernal Drake, which will be the second dragon, comes into play, and he'll be able to contest for that as those skulls spawn in as well. That should be potentially the plan over for this side.
That's a very intricate plan you just set up for them, Highland. We're going to see if they're going to try and follow that.
A big brain, dude. Big brain.
Dude, I'm scared. I'm scared. If I was a bank owner, I'm scared of you like setting up a heist. I'm just like, bro, I can't deal with Highland Wolf. He's too good.
Every single step, like, like out of the Dark Knight, like Joker, like level plan, you know.
Damn, guys, be careful. If you're playing against Highland Wolf, you know he's got a big brain plan just around the corner. He's ready to pop it out very soon. But regardless, in this game, so far we are 9 minutes in, 9-1 in favor of Trovo Nova. Once more, they are looking to take this series 2-0 dominantly. And also the gold lead is nothing to be sniffed at. Currently up to a juicy 4.5k and even looking to increase it by the minute. They are showing no signs of slowing down, which is definitely what Trovo Nova do. That should be their motto almost. Trovo Nova doesn't know how to slow down. That's a good motto. Hey, is that good? No? Yeah, that could end. I think the CEO of Oki Tay is just like, bro, what the hell? That's disgusting.
You try, and we give you a gold star every time, Max, for trying your best. It's okay. We respect you for the memes. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, some of them are in the middle.
That's the joy of memes, right?
On point, dude.
Exactly.
That is a joy of memes, dude. I mean, just like yourself, dude, you're a beautiful one.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is the best day of my life. Oh, okay. Wait, it is a part maybe of the intricate plans. He wants to steal my casting role. Oh, I get it now. I get it. It's all part of his master plan. And that's okay. As now the master plan of hopefully Trovo Nova is going to be starting to kick into gear as they're looking to roam their way towards the enemy jungle, collapsing onto Ghost Reaper. This Jarvan Redemption coming out in the middle of the position. Going to go for the engage. I'm surprised, right? Ghost Reaper actually popped his own ultimate and he's going to be indeed going down. This is going to be Trovo Nova looking for some more opportunities. Vejos is not going to go too far, but why the Cataclysm in that situation? I don't really know what happened for Ghost Reaper.
Well, I'll tell you what is going to happen is Shelly's going to charge her way down into that mid lane, and now with that dragon coming up, that was the other potential plan that it could be taken here. Put that pressure, open up that side lane potential to roam in and take that fight onto Orianna, make it completely miserable time, because now they're going to reset, be able to come back to that Infernal Drake. They're going to make sure that Olaf bow and that Darius stays to ensure the priority over this Riverside, but Trovo Nova will not be taken by an too fancy from the side of Na'Vi. It won't be taken to surprise. But crucially, though, Na'Vi have that potential blast cone to engage, as it will be Olaf to take away the vision and start up this Drake.
I'm not going to lie. I think that Trovo Nova could have got maybe a little bit more even after that. I think they could have put the arrow to mid, pick up the tower, and then instantly go for the Drake. But that's it. I think there could have been something to potentially go on through, as though Na'Vi looking how they want to approach this. Tornado on the side. Oh my god, you can't get it. Oh my god, that tornado was almost going to be able to keep them alive, but Na'Vi are having to move away from that spot entirely. They've got to be cautious. So far, no one has died, but that could be changing very soon, as indeed the Jarvan is going to be a casualty. The Drake is also going to get picked up. That's 2 Drakes coming away of Trovo Nova. Has a Kali a little bit too deep. Almost able to get the Kai'Sa, but she's not going to stay golden enough. And Trovo Nova, now they got the Akali. They're going to use the stasis on her, which is already a lot better to play with.
You see also the misfortune. Every single fight is crucial with this Rakan to zoning out any potential that the side of Na'Vi want to take in these team fights. Any potential that is Kennen get in. The bullet time always crucially zoning any potential engagement. And yes, the Janna works and it saves them in that potential dire straight here in that team fight around the Infernal Dragon with the Monsoon. But it's not enough. They don't have the damage on board. It's that gold lead, and also the damage just gets enhanced even further. That exact 8% buff to their damage, that 10% buff every 30 seconds to their shielding. Just going to be a monster panic queue here in every single team fight going forward. And if that Ocean Drake now goes over, if Na'Vi can't find a way back in the next 4-5 minutes, it's going to be closed doors for them.
Yeah, the doors are slowly shutting down, and on their fingers, 7,000 gold lead in 30 minutes. Not as big as you could expect from a 30-minute game. Sometimes it does tend to be a little bit bigger. But Rakan, go for the jump. Juicy going to be popped into the air, but just a little bit of tick damage coming their way. But they're all going to be split away for Na'Vi, and they are struggling because of this Baron buff. The turrets are going to be taking some really big damage, and that misfortune is melting that down like it's absolutely nothing. Great double knockup from the Rakan. The exhaust instantly popped onto Vex, so you know that that's not going to be available. Exhaust is great into an Olaf, but not having that available anymore, Olaf is going to be doing 100% damage upon the next engage.
You see, Olaf even just feels like he hasn't even reached late game where he falls into the tank. He's just doing all the damage in the front line, but he needs to alongside the rest of his team. They're pressuring now in second lane here as he takes down the bot side tier 3 turret. That's going to be opening it up and making that dragon almost impossible to take with those super minis on that side. Going to be constantly pushing in. The recall is too quick for Na'Vi to take with Baron as well on play for Trovo Nova. They push even more minions in, and with this Kai'Sa, she hasn't reached that late game potential where she becomes strong. And if you pick a Kaiser in this draft here, Max Man, you need to be able to reach that late game to make her feel that power when she starts to get her fourth item online, where she starts to get towards that late game build, when she can really just jump in and spread that damage across the entire enemy team. But as we say, it's just not happened.
I just want to take this little bit of time while not much is happening on the map, on the Rift, to mention what happened about the offline stream, the offline game of today. There was Footballist versus Singularity, and actually Footballist won their respective matchup versus Singularity 2-1,
Nice.
which is surprisingly quite a bit. I was expecting Singularity to win that one 2-1, at least that was my prediction. But no. Footballists take themselves their first win in this one. That is going to be a great showcase. 2-1. They can be super happy and proud of that game. And Singularity taking what I think is one of their very first L's in the EU competitive scene as of yet, at least. So let's see if they can try and bounce back next time.
An interesting one to see. I'll have maybe grab some information on that one, because Singularity looked so dominant in the first day, 2-0, and seeing them take that loss, even 2 games loss here, as you mentioned, such a dominant team. But dominant here is Trovo Nova, engaging again.
Bullet time, big once more. Oriana having no chance to do what she's supposed to do, which is pop the shockwave and get some big boy CC and damage. But without her here, they know that that is potentially a very, very free Drake. Is spawning in the next 6 to 5 seconds. And they're going to be keeping Vejos especially in a very good spot. Far, far forward. Not going to be letting her take the Drake. No, they want to try and make sure they can find some extra assassinations along the board. But that's going to be an instant pickup on the Drake. And there's not much. I don't think that Na'Vi can make this comeback happen. They don't have the best comeback composition. No. They really don't have those big combos. Sure, they do have the shockwave, but other than that, not really that much to go with it.
They had the late game Kaiser potentially if they managed to survive that long mag spot. It's not going to happen. You see the Barons already up. The second Baron now going to be even stronger. Trovo Nova really setting up vision, making sure they can maybe even find a pick onto Garen, onto this Kennen, moving in to try find some awareness for their side as well. But as soon as they realize no one's coming, they're going to turn their heads towards Baron, be able to pick this one up with their 3 dragon lead as well. Just going to be able to really crunch down the entire side of Na'Vi like for a piece of paper and shred them in the bin.
They saw that there was the Kaisen bot side with the Johnny, like, hey, dude, that's like the easiest Baron I've ever seen, and they're going to be picking it instantly. Going straight back to base. You're going to see a few good items coming on through. Rabadon already on the Akali too, so her damage is going to be somewhat hard to deal with, I would say. She's going to go for some also shield shredding, so she is going to be able to take everyone down, even the good old tanks for the side of Na'Vi, pretty damn easily. And I'm just not seeing it happen for Na'Vi. I'm sorry, man. Normally I like to keep my hopes up, be like, oh, dude, it can still be a comeback happening. Oh, yeah, yada, yada, yada. But here, I just think it's going to be a 2-0 slap to the face for Na'Vi, and Trovo Nova are just seeming too damn good as of recently in these events, because I believe they're another team that's currently in a 100% win rate in their games, because I'm looking at Nova 2-0 versus Game Lord in the Mobile Mayhem, and also they took themselves a 2-0 versus Footballist in this tournament, so they are onto a streak, and they want to increase it, as here they're going to go for a big engage. Another huge bullet time coming on through from this Fortune, and they're going to keep on diving forward. There's nothing they can do. Sure, they lose the Olaf, but it is a worthy trade-off at the end of the day. Vejos going to have to flash his way to safety to avoid Reaper picking up that kill, and they got the wave coming up very closely behind. They still got that Baron buff. I believe this indeed just might be game here, Highland.
This will be the end of the suffering of Na'Vi after a long second match of them, watching them just be suffocated by the power of Trovo Nova, slap them in the face with their own composition from game number 1, Akali Misfortune, showing them how it should be done here, Max Man, and they do it in such dominant fashion. 2 Barons, 3 Drakes, the Akali goes 6-1, the Misfortune goes flawless here with 3-0-10, picking up that Blade of Ruin King and Guardian Angel. There was no way she was going to die, but she didn't even need that Guardian Angel realistically, because